In the fantasy planet of Gift, our hero Sogo Amagi climbs up a cliff while looking for a mysterious red crystal, hoping to fulfill his mother's legacy. Suddenly, a comet appears and brings a demon along with it. Its beam strikes Sogo and forms into a red crystal, while also creating the crest of destiny in Sogo's hand. Now that he has found the crystal, Sogo gets excited and rushes through his city on an air bike. He comes home, which is also a bar, and greets his adoptive father Hajime Domon, after which he rushes to his room. Sogo studies the gem and realizes that his mom's theory was right all along. Meanwhile, a rival unit under the command of Gulf Zone Boyle searches for the elusive Lucifer crystal, and the squadron is led by Commander Gus Stewart. However, as they dig into a cave, Sogo's crest goes out of control and he bumps into Kaon Lanchester, who is trying to escape an arranged marriage with Roman Valov. A hilarious chase follows, but then the couple falls into the same cave where Gus is with his troops. They find themselves in an unknown territory, and things get awkward when Kaon hugs Sogo after a newt touches her. Meanwhile, Roman and Otto begin their search for Kaon. Suddenly, the army fires into the canyon, and it triggers the appearance of a mysterious lake. The water recedes, and our hero finds a giant crystal pillar. Sogo's red crystal reacts to it, and then the pillar transforms into a beautiful angel girl named Philia. She falls into Sogo's arms, but a bipedal armor soldier arrives. He is ordered to secure Philia, who is referred to as the Lima, so he attacks the kids, but another bipedal armor monster awakens and defeats the soldier. The beast is attacked by some reinforcements, and then Gus arrives with his overpowered suit to fight it. He dominates his opponent at first, but then the beast regains the advantage. Gus realizes that Philia is the mysterious Lima he's after, and then he goes all out against the monster. However, he is still defeated, and then our heroes fall off the ledge. Sogo grabs Philia, and then she creates a barrier that allows everyone to land safely. Now, the team is reunited with Roman and Otto, after which they make their escape. They come back to Domon, and he offers them a warm meal. The team tries to understand what is going on, and suddenly Philia wakes up after smelling the delicious food. She seems to mimic Kaon and is shown to be very innocent, but there is also something else that seems to be present with them. Sogo spots a strange stone later on and decides to analyze it in his room. Now Gus is taken to an elite level bipedal armor named Ifrit, and he promises Golf that he will retrieve the angel girl. Meanwhile, Sogo tries to cut through the stone, but she turns into a small snake and reveals herself to be Philia's guardian, Mora. She transforms, but Sogo's crest prevents her from doing so. Now Kaon chases Philia into the room to dry her hair, and Sogo manages to gain her approval. Later, the cops try to investigate a prisoner named Pac, but he breaks free and savagely kills all of them. Gus meets him after that, and they are shown to be friends. The next day, Kaon teaches Philia how to speak her language, and then the angel uses her powers to levitate a plate of hot curry. Mora startles her, and the curry is about to fall on Sogo, but then his crest activates Mora's transformation, and we learn that she is the overpowered monster warrior from the cave. Mora bullies Sogo by stealing his food, but then she falls into some curry, and then Damon sends the kids away upon witnessing the chaos. Philia is fascinated by cat pigeons, so Sogo and Kaon decides to take her shopping, and everyone has a lot of fun together. Mora tries to explain how powerful Philia is, but gets ignored by the others, and it makes her grumpy. Later, Philia uses her powers in public again, so Mora startles her as she doesn't want her mistress to use up too much energy. This causes some food to fall on a suspicious man named Alfred, and Sogo apologizes to him. He lets them be for now, but goes to his secret lair and carries out an attack on our heroes by hacking the town's traffic system. This causes panic, so our heroes lead Philia to safety. Unfortunately, they are attacked by robot soldiers on a roof, and Sogo gets injured. He tries to distract the attackers while the girls run away and hide in a train. However, Alfred spots them and summons himself as a giant doll to harass Philia. Luckily, Sogo arrives after shaking off his opponent and joins the girls, but Alfred sends another monster after them. Sogo's presence allows Mura to transform, and she defeats the robot with ease. Then Philia uses her powers to give everyone a safe landing, after which Alfred is caught by Gus. Philia starts working at the cafe and becomes a huge attraction for the crowd. However, Domon panics when he learns about an upcoming typhoon. Philia wants to learn about this phenomenon, but Domon bores everyone with his story, so the team sneaks away from him. Meanwhile, Gus uses Alfred and his tech skills to spy on his target. Now, everyone gets to work on building a shelter for the typhoon, and Philia shows off her powers, even though it annoys Mura. She gives Kaon a splendid show of powers while plucking vegetables, and this catches the attention of Domon's friend, V. Roman and Otto also arrive to offer support, but they mess it up and Mora has to transform to stop them. Luckily, everything goes as planned, and then Roman tries to flirt with Kaon, much to her disappointment. The team wants to see Philia's powers, so she gives them some pretty fireworks. Meanwhile, the Council of Sages discusses what to do with the angel child and Gulf plans to exploit her powers. Philia becomes sad when Sogo and Kaon have to go to school the next day, so she is kept busy by Domon. It starts to rain, and then Sogo tells Kaon about the red crystal his mom, Anna, used to talk about. Unfortunately, Pac and Gus invade the bar and kidnap Philia, thus alerting Sogo through his crest. He rushes back to the scene, but it's too late for him as his angel girl has been taken away. Philia is taken to a ship where Alfred tries to get her to eat, but she refuses to do anything without Sogo. Meanwhile, Mora guides our hero towards the angel girl by using her sensory instincts. They manage to reach the enemy ship, but are attacked, so Mora transforms into beast mode. Gus uses this chance to exploit his new suit and dominates Mora, while Sogo is captured by Park. Our hero is beaten down, and even Mora switches back to her pet form. After getting defeated, she reunites with Sogo, and they rush towards Philia, who is being taken away by Park. The assassin slaps her during a brief struggle, and she falls down, thus activating Mora's evolved form. Gus faces off against her in his armor, and a fierce duel follows. Mora wins the battle, but then Park tries to kill Sogo with his own suit. Luckily, Philia unleashes her powers and takes our hero to safety. Later, Sogo wakes up, but is surprised to see Philia all grown up. Mora explains the situation, so our hero decides to visit the Altar of Abyss in order to halt Philia's aging. They steal Roman's jet and begin their journey, during which they come across a wedding ceremony, and it makes Philia think about love. An awkward moment leads Kaon to injure one of the flower boys, so Sogo takes his place. Philia offers to help, but this makes Kaon jealous as she seems to have a crush on Sogo. Now Gus thinks back to his past, but is interrupted when his team announces that their spy, Honeybee, has located his target. The soldiers invade the wedding ceremony and go after Philia, but Kaon saves her and they try to hide. Sogo summons Mora to fight the robots, but she is outnumbered, so she is unable to go to her mistress. But Roman luckily comes to the rescue and defeats the evil soldier. Then Mora unleashes her true powers and defeats all the enemies, after which the wedding carries on as planned. Our hero makes their way to the abyss, but decide to stop for a break after Mora grows tired. Then we learn that Domon and Gus were actually comrades in war, as we see a flashback of them fighting together. At night, Roman cooks a meal for everyone, but goes crazy after eating a poisonous mushroom. Then Sogo and Philia share an emotional moment, after which she follows a glowing butterfly. However, they are spotted by Pac, who attacks them, so Mora has to transform again. She gains the advantage, but then Gus arrives to take her on, while Park goes after Sogo and Philia. Roman uses his own robot to hold off the enemy, while Gus gains the advantage against Mora. To make matters worse, Alfred arrives to kidnap Philia, but then Roman crashes next to them and causes everyone to fall off a cliff. Luckily, Mora manages to push Gus away and goes after her friends to provide safety. Later, we learn that V is Agent Honeybee, as Domon threatens her and asks for Gulf's location. Sogo wakes up and finds Philia enjoying herself inside a spring, but something triggers her powers and she floats in the air. Philia unleashes the golden ring, which is the entrance of the Altar of Abyss, so the team decides to go there. Roman suggests using the river, so they start building a raft and also bump into Domon, who has cooked some curry for them. Meanwhile, Gus and Pac boost their suits with even more upgrades from Alfred. Now, Domon thinks back to the time he and Gulf met Anna to learn more about the Lucifer crystal. As the raft is about to be completed, Domon warns Sogo that he might die if he carries on with his mission, but they get into an argument. Domon brings up Anna in the conversation, and this makes Sogo walk away in anger. A flashback shows us how Domon and Anna become friends during the mission. She finally spots the Lucifer crystal, but then her lab is attacked, and she dies in front of Domon's eyes. That's when he vowed to take care of Sogo and also kill her assassin for revenge. Now Mora tells Sogo that Philia is an angel who is the embodiment of gift. She also reveals that Philia needs to replenish her powers at the altar, otherwise she will wither away. Meanwhile, Domon breaks into Gus's facility and taunts him before proceeding with his mission. Then Soga, Mora, and Philia make their way forward as they don't want the others to risk their lives. A flashback shows Domon trying to bond with Sogo after his mother's death. In the meantime, Sogo tells Philia about how Domon did his best to take care of him as a child. The rest of the gang realize realize what has happened, but head towards the altar, hoping to meet their friends. As Domon makes his way inside the facility, he is shot and gravely injured. Now the soldiers attack Philia and Sogo, so Mora transforms and takes on the enemy jets. Domon makes his way to Gulf, but only finds his assistant Lillian Anatolia, so he quickly vanishes after asking her to bring Gulf to Enna's grave. Mora begins to dominate the commander, but then Gus shows up with his overpowered suit. Even Park joins in, and Alfred boosts Gus with a new rifle to help him defeat Mora. The commander demands to see Domon as Philia is taken away, but then the rest of the team arrives to create a distraction and help him out. Then Sogo unites with Mora, and they become one to unleash their ultimate powers. An intense battle breaks out, and our heroes completely destroy Gus's suit, but Park saves him and flies away. Meanwhile, Domon sees a vision of Enna and hugs her, but gets killed by Lillian, who was using a disguise. As our hero enters the altar, Philia starts to feel unwell around the crystals, but Kaon feels that it might be because she's in love with Sogo. Now, V reaches Domon, but is shocked to see him dead. Gus is also alerted about this, and he breaks down into tears as he had admired his comrade. At night, Philia finds Sogo, who is collecting flowers for her fever. Then Roman tells Kaon that he will not force her for marriage, but declares that he does love her. Sogo and Philia bond some more, and she is about to confess her love for him, but hesitates at the last moment. The next day, the team tries to figure a way inside the altar, but Philia falls through a trapdoor and is surrounded by crystals. Sogo tries to save her, but it's of no use as she is absorbed by an evil monster. Sogo unites with Mora to fight the beast, and a fierce duel follows. However, the Guardian is too powerful for them and is about to kill Sogo, but then Philia offers to go with him if he spares her lover. She painfully bids farewell to Sogo, and it breaks his heart as he falls to the ground. To make matters worse, he also learns that Domon is dead and is completely broken down. However, his friends motivate him to save Philia, so he moves forward. The angel girl meets Gulf, who is surprised to see that she has genuine feelings. However, he maintains that he has to destroy her for the sake of the planet. Later, Sogo and Mora unite to attack the enemy base and make it through the area shield, but the waves make Mora transform into a girl, so they have to sneak around. Meanwhile, Gulf tries to harness Philia's powers as he doesn't think of her as human. Luckily, V reaches our hero and creates a distraction to allow him to rush towards Philia. The angel tries to plead with Gulf, but he maintains that she is the corrupted crystal of Lucifer. Sogo and Mora get surrounded by robot soldiers, but Gus and Park come to their rescue as they want to avenge Domon. Philia begins to lose her feelings, so the duo rushes to the scene, but they fall through a trapdoor. Gulf orders Lillian to treat Sogo with care, but she kills him and orders Philia to submit to Lucifer. Mora faces off against her, but she is revealed to be the evil guardian and attacks Sogo. Luckily, Mora transforms and takes him on, while Sogo continues his efforts to save Philia. The angel has a vision of Sogo and feels at ease, but we learn that this is just a hallucination. Fake Sogo offers to take her to a world where they will be in peace, and she agrees to it. But then he asks her to unleash her true powers. She identifies him to be an imposter, so the villain is about to hurt her. But then Mora defeats the evil guardian and rescues Philia. However, Lillian spots Sogo's crest and absorbs him instead, as his powers are superior. They fly off into space, and then Philia unites with Mora to save Sogo. An apocalyptic typhoon is about to destroy the planet of Gift, and then the two warriors face off in an intense battle. It is here where we learn that Lillian is actually from Earth, but his angel was killed by her own people. That's what led him to invade Gift's angel, and he wishes to unite both worlds to become a god. The villain uses a finisher move on Philia, and all hope seems lost, but then she has an emotional moment with Mora, and they combine to defeat Lillian. Philia unites with Sogo and sacrifices herself to save the world. After confessing her love for him, she leaves behind a crystal for our hero, and then he sees a spark in the sky to remind him of her presence. And that's the end of the show. Like, share, and subscribe to show some love, and tap the bell icon for notifications. See you later!